everybody, we're writing this problem down. And this is, again, you have a quiz on this on Wednesday. Verifying is, so this is a true story. When my husband and I, not when we were married, we are still married, his parents lived in Sonoma, and I never went to visit them without my husband. And he's one of those people who takes weird ways to get places, like even going into the city, because he drove into the city every day. Like he's like, oh, I get on the bridge really tricky, and I go through the Oakland, and I get on, like he's weird about that. So every time we would go to Sonoma, he would take a slightly different way. So one day I had to take my children to their grandparents without my husband. And I'm like, yeah, I've been married for 20 years. They've been living there for 20 years. I don't actually know how to get there. So he made me a map and showed me. And I was like, dear God, please let me get to Sonoma. I had to prove to myself that I could do it, right? And the only way to prove that I could get to Sonoma, bless you, was to drive there and show that I could get there. So tonight what we're doing is that I am actually giving you the answer to the problem tonight. This is the problem, and this is the answer, and your job is to show me that that indeed is the answer by showing you all your work. Someone said, couldn't I just at the very end be like, yeah, I did it, tan equals tan, done. And I'm like, yeah, then you'll get no points. You have to actually say to me, I pull out of my driveway, I'm going to turn left on Marsh Creek, I'm going to get onto 242, I'm going to go through Vallejo. Like, you have to show me all the steps that I should be able to do it and get to tangent, right? That is verifying. There is another word for that. And Trev, if you want to talk today, I'm going to go ahead, since I'm taping, send you out to the library, or have you not talk over me. Okay, thanks. Another word for that is the P word. We're proving, right? Because that's what we did in proofs. I give you the stuff in geometry and say, yes, show these two angles are the same. And you would actually do that. You'd be like, okay, I'm going to go from this angle to this angle, and this angle to this angle, and this angle to this angle, and this one there. And that's how you would do it, right? That's what we're doing today. We're taking the confusing, scary stuff, getting it all simplified down, and hopefully ending there, right? But the thing is, I have to only, like, what I can't do is get halfway to Sonoma, right? I either have to go from here to Sonoma or Sonoma home. I got to pick a path. So you get to, first off, decide when we're doing these, do you want to mess with this guy and head here, or mess with this guy and head here? And here's my hint. Always mess with the confusing guy, making him into the regular guy. So I want you to understand, it's not about which side it's on, it's which one you think is going to be, oh, I can make this confusing stuff simplify down. So it's really everything we've done. It's nothing new. I just need you to show your steps. Now, some people, you guys often, if you notice, I gave blank paper for a reason. I'd like you to practice not writing it out sideways. That's a horizontal orientation. In math, we like it to kind of go like this, right? If we have a hard problem like 5x plus 7 equals 21 and we were little kids, here's what we did. We did the 7 from both sides. So we got 5x equals 14, and then x equals 14 over 5. And then we went like this, like an upside down Christmas tree, right? You're going to do that same thing. We're going to kind of make an upside down Christmas tree. And then at the very end, we're going to get to tan. You guys ready? Here we go. We got this. It's pretty easy. So first thing I want to know, do I want to mess with the tan or the secant, cosecant, secant, cosecant? So let's use our tools. First thing I want you all to do, I'd like you to rewrite this in terms of sine and cosine. Start there. You ready? Don't worry about him. He's just going to sit there to the very end. That's Sonoma. Sonoma's just waiting for us. You ready? Okay. So Melissa, are you already done? Have you rewritten secant and cosecant as sines and cosines? Yes, yes. We're going to twirly flip in a minute. Trevor, you already done with that? So you have that written down? So yeah, we're going to twirly flip. We're going to do the reciprocal. Well, I know. I can't. Well, I could, but I'm not going to. So here's what I got. 1 over cosine, right? And 1 over sine. Now you're looking at that and you're thinking, Miss T, that's a whole lot of nothing. And you are correct. So I don't like two fractions in a fraction. So Trev gave me the idea, how about the reciprocal thing or the twirly flip? Can you do that for me, please? Show that work. Either do this, because you know I know that. Be careful if you get to calculus. That doesn't really mean anything. So here's what I'm going to have. 1 over cosine times sine over 1. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How about if I now squish it? Can I squish it all together? Yes, yes. Sine over cosine, James. Perfect. And finally, I'm going to put some thetas in there. That's something. What is sine over cosine? Hey, guess what? That's Sonoma. We made it, right? We made it. So I just take this and say, hey, that's what I wanted it to be. I'm done. I'm done. I verified it. If you are someone who has ever texted me and said, Miss T, I don't know how to do this problem, that's what I do. I write it out on my iPad. I show you my steps and I send it to you. I verify the answer. That's all you're doing. You're just showing your work formally. Are you guys cool? Okay, we're going to step up our game a little bit. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Okay, so here's what I want you to do first. I'm going to give you a little hint on this guy. That we're, oh my God, stop it. We don't, that's Sonoma, right? We're gonna clean this up. So do me a favor. Let's rewrite this stuff. 1 is just 1. Let's put that in terms of sines and cosines and squish it together a little bit, right? So we're not gonna mess with Sonoma, right? Notice it's on the other side this time. Does that matter? It doesn't, but it's nice and clean. So start here. Start by rewriting some stuff, taking a look at what you got. Oh, get your purple paper out. Yes. It will. You're right. Because here's what it really is. So it is 1 plus n squared. Do you agree? Because I wanted people to realize that makes tan squared. I wanted you to start by putting these two together first. Yeah, I thought it's 1 plus n. No. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mess with these guys. I'm going to keep this 1 over here. That is 1 over cosine squared times sine squared over 1. Is everybody cool with that? I just rewrote that of that. You can, right. And you know what? A lot of times they work. I'm just showing what worked for me, right? Oh, I did like the tan squared plus 1. You made it a little, you are heading there. You're just taking a little bit of a roundabout way, but that would work. Right. But you're just this is going to be just a little cleaner. I'm just getting you straight there. But Kelsey Tamura got every problem right, had 4 more steps than I did today. Not that they were wrong. She was like, but this would work. I'm like, it would, right? Like literally you could go to Sonoma by going through San Francisco. Would it take you a lot longer? Sure. But could you get there? You could. Okay, here's what I got. I'm going to clean this up. Sine squared over cosine squared. That looks awesome. That looks super good. Sine squared over cosine squared is a thing. It's tan squared. And here's what. The minute I see a 1 and a squared, I go to the purple paper because I don't have them memorized. Except cosine squared plus sine squared, that one I have memorized. So you got secant squared, Jackson? Hey, guess what? That's what you were heading toward. You're done. That's so mean. You're so mean. Trev, so mean. Done. You're done. I have had some kids, be careful. Watch where you're heading. I've had some kids who will keep on going and make it 1 over cosine squared and then do more stuff and then more stuff and then more stuff. And I'm like, you passed it. You were there. So be careful. Keep an eye on where you're heading so you just don't keep driving. It's like, I'm heading to Disneyland. And the next thing you know, you're in San Diego. It's like, yeah, you drove right by it, right? So be careful. This next one we're going to do together, this one's a tricky one. This one's a little bit of a tricky one. And the hint I'm going to give you here, if you're a little bit ahead of me, if you're one of those people who are kind of getting these, going to have a little bit of a common denominator here. So Justin, on this one, we're not going to mess with this guy. We're leaving, oh, don't do that. We are leaving this guy alone. We are messing with the confusing stuff. So the first thing I want, those of you who are like, where do I even start? Clean this up, right? Make it into 2 fractions, do a little twirly flip and stop. And then you and I are going to talk about what we do when we hit that wall. How do we do a left turn to common denominator? Phoebe's mad at me. Phoebe's bitter. Because she had beautiful graphs, but she skipped every other number on it. And so I took a point off. They were perfect. They were perfect. But yeah. Like, so you know how we put 8 little things on the graph? She would leave every other, like she did, like, and they were beautiful. They were perfect. But it was like, but, and I'm like, you have to write this numbers. Yeah. But then she said, oh, like I'm talking to the mic. Sorry. Phoebe's the bomb. She's just mad at me. Okay, are we ready? So Jackson, where are we at? Because I feel like you guys aren't paying attention. So I'm just trying to get you guys to stay focused. So we're going to do this guy, right? What is that? What is cotangent? That's right. Cosine over sine. And what is secant? Right on. Okay. Is everybody cool at this point? Okay. We don't like that. That's a mess. That's a mess. Twirly flip right now on your paper. That's your next step down. Do a little twirly flip, or in math language, multiply by the reciprocal. But that's not as fun as saying twirly flip. Yes, and that's where you should stop. If you got to this, you are on fire and you did great, and you're like, Miss T, that's garbage, that's nothing. So when we hit the wall here, we have to pick out another technique. And the technique I'm going to remind you of is common. Oh, I want to cross cancel. I can only do that if I'm multiplying. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Common denominator. So watch what I have going on. What is the denominator I want for those two guys? Sine. You got it. What is this guy missing to look like this guy? Nothing. Yes, yes, Jackson. What is cosine squared plus sine squared? It is 1. And where were we heading? That's as hard as it gets. That's it. Nicely done. Nicely done. Talia, I worry a little bit that Jace has no one else to talk to, so he's not making sure you're not watching. So you're not watching. Yeah. Oh my God. God, I'm driving that bus right over her. Okay. Try this one yourself. You guys can do this one. It's got the common denominator. Here's a hint. Clean this up first, and then watch for a common denominator. If you guys can do this, you got this. I know, that's easy. But the more you do, the more you start thinking, oh, I just use these same stupid techniques over and over. Justin, do this one, so I know you got it. I think I think it's gonna have sine on the bottom. So I think it's gonna be like cosine squared over sine. Yes, that is so good. Kristen, sine is the common denominator on this one. Don't worry about the equals. We ignore it until the very end, and you'll get there. You know, I'm on mic, so we'll be okay if I talk about you. Okay. That's how you're not. Okay, so let me see where you're at. That's beautiful. And oh no, let's write that. Don't write it down. Here's what we always want to put in terms of cosines and sines. So change that into cosine over sine, right? And I think this is it's just cosine over 1.
How you do it?
Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, so here's the next thing I want you to do. Clean that up to make one fraction.
Wait,
yeah, like, yep.
Hold
on. Cosine squared over sine. Good. Now put minus there. Do I have a common denominator? So write a nice line with a sign on the bottom. And write what I have on top. No, 1 minus.
You bring the 1 over?
That's a thing.
Yeah. That's 1 minus sine squared.
So now on top you have
Sine squared.
And on the bottom you have, can you cancel anything?
Sine.
Yes, and where were you heading?
Sine. But I have sine right here. Wait. I have sine right here. So this is where I'm at.
Okay, so this is actually just cosine over sine.
Why do you make it cosine over sine?
Because it was cotangent. It's cotangent.
No, I'm talking about. Yeah, but that's this. Can I just write sine at the back? And that's right here, but what up?
Oh, so it's because we're multiplying, we don't need a common denominator.
Wait, so we get the answer on the test. So 1 minus cosine
squared.
Why is it squared? It's not squared up there.
Okay, so here's what I got. Put a 1 underneath that guy. Okay, so let's see what we got. 1 minus sine, or 1 over sine, minus. How much? I know, how much cosine?
Does everyone know that Phoebe and Justin are going on a date? He did. We're going on a date.
I'm driving you to Berkeley this weekend? Oh. Are you really? She's super cute. Hey, how'd we do? Okay. Everybody okay with that? Yay. Yay. Jordan, are we good? Okay. Hey. How much gas do you actually have like your I do.
You said that on tape, right?
You were not listening. You were not watching. You were talking. I just did this.
Okay.
Are you good with this?
Wait, can you come here?
Let me stop the tape. Hold on. Okay. We're not going to do that one. So here's what. I'm about to give you your homework, and I want to talk you through it, and then I'm going to help people so I can stop taping because I keep doing weird things on the tape. And apparently I'm going on a date to Berkeley. I don't know. I don't know if that just I don't know. Let me show you what we're doing. Great job on that test. Everyone did great. I'm scared to come over. I feel like Phoebe's gonna be like try to like key my car or something. That's right. No. I thought it was me. I'm like flattered, but no, I knew that.
Your jokes just like spark up the whole room. Oh no problem.
Okay, let's talk. Here we go. Trev, here we go. So your homework today is 1 through 5, and then 5 random ones on the bottom, right? Just pick 5 random ones. I have answers for the bottom ones. The top ones, I will actually put how I did it in Google Classroom tonight. I'll just sit and do it real quick. But I can't really tell you the answer because the answer is yes, it works. Now, I want to be really clear. Do not write sideways. Like take number 1 and do number 1 as a little chunk right here, Sean, and then take number 2 and do it as a little chunk right here. And then number 3 right here, and then number 4 right here, and then maybe number 5 on the back. And then the other ones you can just kind of do on the back really easily, right? So I also gave you the green paper because you could also do your work on that. That's why I made it matchy today, right? So here comes, I have hints for you. So are you ready for the hints? Number 1 and 2, everyone's going to be able to walk right through. There's nothing tricky. You're going to be like, really? That's it? And you're going to be fine. Number 3, I have that word CD next to it. Common denominator. Number 4 is the one that's hard, and it's not really that hard. I'm going to tell you that it has a common denominator. I'm even going to show you what that denominator is. It's sine cosine. And when you get there, you'll be like, oh, I could totally do this. Number 5 is the F word. That's right. Do a little factoring. Do a little clawing, right? Got a little clawing on that one. And then if you're like, oh, I'm going to trick her, I'm only going to do the top ones to make them easy. They're all mixed together. So any random 5 you want to do is awesome with me. I have answers for you if you even want to write them down. But you have a quiz on this on Wednesday, so don't do that. I am going to stop taping.